defense staying with the play. It's not over. Keep running after the quarterback and making a huge play for the defense.
Tanu Vasa, his first forced fumble of the season. Wilson with his second fumble recovery. And the Broncos defense comes up with a big play. Denver gets the football back in the second quarter. Over the first 10 games of the season, Seattle's turnover ratio a +10. Over the last 3, -10. Greasy, he's in trouble, and now circles out of it. Greasy looking for an open man. He'll throw it to the sideline and out of bounds. Sam Adams was applying the pressure. Had a chance to bring him down, could not. And Greasy throws it away. These turnovers, we talked about them with Mike Holmgren yesterday, and they have been a thorn in the side of the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, so you can't live and die by turnovers in the NFL. If you're a complete football team, you have to execute offense, defense, and special teams. During the beginning of the season, he said it was great. We were getting the turnovers, but we couldn't count on those turnovers. We had to become a solid football team and not rely on the defense giving us the ball. But offensively, we've just given the ball up, and we've given up points and hurt our defensive field position.
Derek Loville through the middle, and he gets it out to the 37-yard line for a pickup of 6. Jay Bellamy making the tackle. But Mark, you're absolutely correct in saying that John Kitna held on to that football for too long. That internal clock as a quarterback, you got to hear the alarm.
You do, and that's field presence and that's pocket presence, and you should know that. And particularly at this point in his career, he's not a rookie anymore. He's a first-year quarterback, but he's not a rookie anymore, and he's played enough football that he should know that and realize it.
Now a 3rd and 4, ball spotted at the 37. Greasy. Ball was deflected. McCaffrey, concentration, has a first down and then some. Inside the 20, he's forced out of bounds. 20 yards, Greasy to McCaffrey. Line of scrimmage will be the 16.
Brian Greasy showing strength at the quarterback position. First running away from a possible sack, now throwing the football with enough velocity to get through on the tip. But Ed McCaffrey, when they need a big play, no one's out there, covers, goes in, comes back out. There's not a secondary personnel covering him. A linebacker's supposed to be on him, Darren Smith, but he couldn't keep up with Ed McCaffrey.
McCaffrey inching closer to his second straight 1,000-yard receiving season. Now on first down, Gary trying to roll to the outside, unable to get there as he's brought down after a gain of 1 by Phillip Daniels. Denver Broncos were 8-0 at home during the regular season last year in the Super Bowl campaign, and Mike Shanahan's team this year 2-4 at Mile High. This has been a very difficult place to play for anybody, including teams from the AFC West. Broncos have won 13 of their last 14 divisional games at Mile High. That one loss came 2 weeks ago against Kansas City.
And what head coaches always preach, first thing, win at home.
Movement. Flags come down and the play never happens. May have been Cortez Kennedy jumping, number 96, or was he coaxed into it?
Encroachment, defensive nose tackle. 5 yards, second down.
So it is the man they call Tez.
And Tez is having an outstanding season this year, getting to the quarterback, but here he is over Marshall Earth right there, jumping off sides, can't get back. Once you get that 300 pounds moving in one direction, it's awful tough to get it back across the line of scrimmage before the snap.
Excuse me, 306.
306. Well, that was probably in the off-season weighing program. Those scales in the off-season are about 10 pounds lighter than they are during the season.
You would know. Off of play action, Greasy. Plenty of time, and knocked down. Tremendous play by Darrell Williams. Nearly caught that one-handed as he extended the arm. Incomplete.
And that was tremendous leaping ability. The vertical jump by Darrell Williams, getting up, skying, reaching his arm up. But Greasy has great time to throw this ball. Good protection. Nice block by Landis Gary and Michael Sinclair. But right there, reaching up, skying in the air, and knocking that ball away. That's a tremendous play by Darrell Williams.
The former Pro Bowler went there in 1997. And now a 3rd and 4 from the 10. McCaffrey, the motion man. Spring sticks with him. Straight back and a throw. Greasy, nobody home. Byron Chamberlain, the intended receiver, he fell down on the route. And Greasy was looking for a flag. Denver will settle for 3.
Byron Chamberlain coming across the middle of the formation, runs across, and just basically just trips and falls, and that shouldn't be a penalty. That's a good job by the officiating crew. But what I like on the drive, Brian Greasy moving his team. And the thing about growth, what Mike Shanahan was telling us, I can see it in Brian Griese. You can almost see it from series to series that he does some things well, does it better the next series, but he also still makes the young mistakes.
28-yard field goal attempt. Jason Elam puts it through, and the Broncos extend their lead. 6:48 to play in the first half. Denver with a 17-7 advantage. By 10, 6:48 mark, second quarter here in Denver, and Jason Elam will kick it off. It's a low kick. It'll take a bounce. Fielded at the 17-yard line. Kerry Joseph breaking into Denver territory. Joseph finally ridden down inside the 25. It is rare that you will see a low kick returned like that.
And it is rare. And what happens is the coverage team, they give up on the play. They think that a lineman's going to fall on the ball, and the lineman just turn around and watch it go back to Kerry Joseph. He's smart enough to pick it up, seeing there's a lane, and just take off with the football. Gets good blocks. The coverage team doesn't go down and cover. He sees an alleyway and takes off running. Now it's just a foot race.
And Joseph was caught right around the 20-yard line. A 61-yard return for Kerry Joseph. His long on the season was 24. And the Seahawks in great field position, trailing 17-7. On a delayed handoff, Ricky Waters. He has an opening, and Waters spills forward as he's brought down by Al Wilson. He gained 8 on the play. How do you turn ironing? Phil Simms, Ironman team. On a 2nd and 2. From the 13. Kitna in the pocket, underneath, and it's too low for Derek Mays. Stops the clock with 5:46 to play in the first half. Dale Carter had the coverage on the outside.
That's just a poorly thrown ball by John Kitna. On the field, there's Trevor Price, and he's their best player on defense this season, and he's injured on the play.
In his 3rd year out of Clemson, had played at Michigan, transferred because he wanted to play the linebacker position, and eventually he makes it as a pro as a defensive lineman. Ultimately, you feel he could probably play defensive end. Right now, though, he's on his back, and an injury will step aside. Broncos lead it 17-7. Price was able to walk off the field on his own. He appears to be okay. We'll have to sit out this play, though, as the Seahawks face a 3rd and 2 at the 13-yard line. He's replaced by Monte Rieger, who steps inside. Kitna. Play clock is down to 9. On 3rd and 2, Kitna throwing to the sideline. It's caught. And a first down for Sean Dawkins. They got 4. They needed 2. Dawkins, we asked him about Joey Galloway now being a part of this team. Has that bothered you? Has that taken you out of the offense? He said, no, I benefited from it.
Yeah, he's the happiest guy out there to have him back, because now covers aren't rolling to Sean Dawkins. He's not getting double teamed in situations. They're moving it to Joey Galloway, but it's a nice route to the outside, just enough yardage to pick up the first down. Go to the big guy, the biggest guy out there at the wide receiver. I love tall wide receivers at 6'4".
First and goal from the 9, a rollout. Kitna now looks the other way, and it's Ricky Waters. With a head of steam, able to spill forward down to the 5-yard line, and Torrey James got him down low as he picked up 4 on the pass play.
Outstanding job by the secondary, particularly Torrey James on this play. He's got offensive linemen out in front of him. This should be a touchdown if they get their blocks, but the speed of the defensive secondary, particularly Torrey James on this play, knifing through, makes it hard for Ricky Waters. Kitna rolls out, turns around, dumps the ball back to Ricky Waters, but right there, the white jersey's out there. This should be a touchdown, but the speed of the secondary closing on the ball shuts the play down. 2nd
and goal from the 5, handoff. Straight up the middle, Waters is struggling forward, trying to get to the end zone and just short. Glenn Cadrez covered up. And the Seahawks are just shy of putting a touchdown on the board.
And I think this is a smart call. You've got your best defensive lineman, Trevor Price, for the Denver Broncos, are out. Run the ball right up in the middle of the teeth of the defense. And they do, behind Pete Kendall, the center Chris Gray, and Brian Habib, the right guard. They got a good push on the defensive front of the Denver Broncos, and that's why the play was successful.
3rd and goal, inside the 1. Seahawks go with their power formation. 3 in the backfield. Handoff, Waters putting his helmet down, and he's in. Ricky Waters punches it in for the touchdown.
And that's bread and butter for the Seahawks. When Mike Holmgren gets close to the goal line, nothing fancy. He relies on the offensive line straight ahead. Just get some movement, find a crease for our running back, and Ricky Waters does the rest.
Waters with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. In fact, Seattle has 5 rushing touchdowns overall this year. All thanks to Waters. And Peterson is on for the extra point. The holder is Fiegels, and Peterson able to split the uprights. 17-14 now. Denver with a lead on Seattle. 4:07 to play until halftime.
And Bill Romanowski has a chance to get Ricky Waters. Here he is. He's going to try to run through, but Ricky Waters gets leverage. He finds the hole, lowers his shoulders. They're lower than Romanowski's right there, and he keeps his feet moving and just pushes them in the end zone. That's outstanding. I like Ricky Waters as a running back. When everyone talks about the top running backs in the NFL line, Ricky Waters is never mentioned, but he should be because he's one of the best, and he does it year in and year out.
Over 1,000 yards for Waters for the 5th consecutive year. And the 1-yard touchdown run at the end of that 6-play 21-yard drive for Seattle had the great field position thanks to the Kerry Joseph return on the kickoff. So the Seahawks suffering through a 3-game losing streak and trying to put an end to a 10-year playoff drought. That is the longest streak in the NFL. They now trail Denver by 3.
Not only that, this team has only won once here in 10 years. Seattle as a football team. And the other thing is they said that they would come out and fight. When we talked to these players in unison, they told us, hey, our backs are against the wall. We know it, but we can still control our own destiny, and we're going to come out fighting. And they have. They've been down by some points in this game where they could have easily folded their tents, but they're still in there fighting away.
Todd Peterson will kick it off. Chris Watson is the deep man, standing at his own 2. End over end from Peterson. Fielded at the 10 in a collision. Derek Loville caught the football. Watson thought he was going to step forward and bring it in, but Loville did not know that Watson was behind him. James Logan with the tackle, so a miscommunication. And Denver with some shaky field position to start out on this drive.
And Denver's very fortunate on this play that Derek Loville holds onto this football, because right there he gets nailed in the back as soon as he catches the ball by Chris Watson. But Zell has the wherewithal of get up and getting positive yardage on the play, but great play by Loville holding onto that football.
They have it at the 20, but if Watson fields that, I think the way that he was moving forward momentum, they would have been out to the 30-35 at least. Greasy makes the connection to Ed McCaffrey. They get whatever yardage they may have lost on that kickoff return right back. 13 yards and a first down for Denver at around the 33.
And you look at these wide receivers for Denver, and as a pair, most people consider them the best in the NFL, and we'll tell you why, because they've won championships. And when you compare some of the great receivers in the NFL, lots of yardage here, lots of yardage here, but the bottom line, these two guys have won championships back to back.
On a first down for Denver. Handoff goes to Gary. Spinning forward to the 40-yard line. He picked up 7, and Jay Bellamy made the tackle. So the Broncos with 3:10 to play. They have the lead and a chance to maybe extend it before they head to the locker room.
When you look at Orlandis Gary, a lot of people go, well, he could be our feature back. He's a back that can lead us down the road. Well, wait a minute. There's a big difference in the NFL between a good back and a great back. And Terrell Davis is a great back. Orlando Gary will be a fine back in the NFL, but he is not a great back as Terrell Davis is.
He is putting up great numbers so far as 9th carry. And they gave him maybe a gain of 1. It'll be 90 yards for him. Sam Adams making the stop. But in a strange way, and Mike Shanahan told us this, as good as Terrell Davis is, an elite running back, it's only natural to feel some pressure when somebody steps in, does your job, does it well. It makes you want to come back that much quicker and say, hey, this is still my job.
Absolutely, and he says his rehab has really picked up a notch or two since Orlandis Gary has done better and better each week. And that's great to have pressure on the NFL because there's no job security, and when somebody's pushing you, it's only going to make you better.
On 3rd and 2, Loville did not get the first down. No gain on the play as he got to the line of scrimmage, and Darren Smith will be given credit for the stop. We hit the 2-minute warning. Denver facing 4th down when we come back to Mile High. Seattle 17-14. Take you back to Super Bowl 32. Mike Holmgren, then of the Green Bay Packers, lost to Mike Shanahan and the Denver Broncos. It was the Packers looking for back-to-back championships, and little did Shanahan know that that would be the first of his back-to-back Super Bowl titles. But there is a mutual respect between the two of them, coming from that same coaching tree. Tom Ruin on the punt. Return man is Rodgers. Rodgers cutting it back, middle of the field, and he is devoured. Out at the 10-yard line by Detron Smith. A 6-yard return and a 55-yard punt from Ruin. Coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. It's coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. Timeouts. Seattle has all 3 of them remaining, as does Denver. And Mike Holmgren's team trailing 17-14 with 1:47 left. First half. 3 receivers set on a 1st and 10 from the 10. Kitna straight back, stepping forward and fires. Open man, it's caught. Twirled down at the 30-yard line is Joey Galloway. 19 yards, and Ray Crockett made the tackle.
Outstanding job by the guys up front, the offensive line, creating a pocket for John Kitna to step up in and complete the pass.
Clock continues to roll. Short throw underneath, gathered in by Derek Mays. And he's forced out of bounds. They picked up 1 yard as he was forced to the outside, but the clock does stop. 1:21 left.
Now, what we haven't seen in this game is Joey Galloway deep. Usually Joey Galloway's the guy with enough speed, he can blow by defenders and stretch the defense. We haven't seen that today. They've attacked the outside of the defense and the middle of the defense, but not long to Galloway. Galloway
had 6 catches last week, his highest total since his 101-day holdout, until he finally came back for the second half of the '99 season. Here's Kitna. Little screen pass for Ricky Waters. Flag down. Waters is hit. He keeps going, and then sandwiched as he crosses the 40-yard line and comes up just shy of the 45. 14 yards through the air, but it will be a holding called on the Seahawks.
Illegal hands to the face. 71 offense. 10 yards, 2nd down.
Different penalty, but it hurts them nonetheless. Walter Jones.
And Ricky Waters at the end of this play just levels a defense and a defender.
Darius Johnson is down on his back.
Of the Denver Broncos, and that's the person that he nailed. One-on-one in the open field. Both were coming at a full head of speed, and what a hit.
You talked about Waters' toughness, and Darius Johnson bounced off of Ricky Waters and now has felt the brunt of that hit. Johnson remains on the field. Will break away. 17-14 Denver. Darius Johnson now in his 4th year out of Oklahoma, being tended to by the Broncos medical staff. They get him up off of his back, and he is now sitting up. It's like a train wreck. That's how football is described by those who have played it. Let's take a listen. And Waters just kept on running. Johnson able to get up and walk off. Denver was charged with a timeout because of the injury.
And that's one of those nasty hits, full force, mano a mano, and Ricky Waters won that battle, and Darius Johnson is feeling the effects right now, and that was one heck of a collision. And you get those in football, and you look around and you wonder where you are. You see the sparklers in your eyes. I've had them before. It's happened to me before. You kind of wonder where you are, and you want to just make sure that everything is still in working order out there.
2nd and 19 from the 20. 5 receiver formation for Kitna. Throwing, and the catch made by Mike Pritchard at around the 31. So he picked up 12, setting up 3rd down and about 7. Just over a minute left until halftime, and Seattle has called a timeout. They still have 2 remaining. Don't forget the NASDAQ halftime report immediately following this first half of action. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry with all the scores and highlights. Week 15 of the NFL, and playoff positioning becoming a little more clear around the National Football League, and looks like Darius Johnson's head is clearing up as well.
And it's not a great sight and have it happen. I've only been knocked out a few times in my career, and it's not fun because for a while you really don't know where you are. Then you look around and you just make sure that you're okay. And then all of a sudden you try to remember what happened, because when you get a hit like that, Kyle going to make a block, and the next thing I knew, I'm looking up at the trainer and he's going, "Mark, are you all right?" It's like, am I Mark?
Is it Sunday?
Yeah.
On a 3rd and 8. 3 receiver formation. Kitna forced out. On a rollout, he'll throw it up high and out of bounds. Into the crowd. And a Bronco fan could not make the catch in the front row. 4th down for Seattle with 56 seconds to play. First half. Neil Smith applying the pressure.
Neil Smith's had a tremendous year. This offseason, they didn't even know if he was coming back to this football team, but he has 103 sacks for his career, dedicated himself in the offseason, and this is tremendous hustle on the play. Inside, outside, just relentless pursuit of the quarterback.
Smith and the defense now on the sidelines to watch Jeff Fiegels punt it away to the very dangerous Chris Watson. Had the 81-yard return earlier. This is a high punt, fair catch signal. Watson allows it to bounce, and it will take a Seattle roll as it trickles down to right around the 26-yard line. That's where they'll spot it after the 43-yard punt from Fiegels. 40 seconds now left in the first half.
Because he just cracks me up every time I see him. And you know, I love the great promo when he was playing golf.
Oh yeah, that was good.
The tackle in the bag. Every time I saw it, it just made me laugh. He's hilarious.
40 seconds to play now in the second quarter. Out of the shotgun, Greasy throwing, caught by Smith, trying to get out of bounds, and they will keep the clock moving. He did not get there. Merton Hanks making the tackle. Greasy thought he was out of bounds. It's a 9-yard pickup, and Denver is forced to use a timeout. Just one remaining.
And it's close, and this is great strength by Rod Smith of trying to get to the sidelines, picking up extra yardage, but that's determination by a wide receiver, trying to make something happen for your offense. Smart guy. Guy started off on the practice squad in his career, didn't even know he was going to be around in the NFL line, and you know, look at him today.
He told us it's probably the first time ever that Kansas City Chief fans are rooting for the Denver Broncos today.
He said not only rooting, praying, cheering, hoping that they win this game today, because Seattle plays Kansas City in Seattle next week, and that is going to be a huge game. But he said this would be the first time that he can ever recall Kansas City fans rooting for the Denver Broncos.
And they are rooting for them today with 28 seconds to play in the second quarter. Denver does have the 17-14 lead. And they are on the move with a 2nd and 1 from their own 35. Still have one timeout remaining. Shotgun for Greasy. Plenty of time. And through the hands of Derek Loville. Incomplete. Take a look at the playoff picture. You just alluded to the huge matchup next week, which will probably be for the AFC West title. For Seattle to make sure that they can win the division, they need to get a win here. Fate will still be in their own hands. And that's something that a number of players kept bringing up to us in our meetings yesterday. We still control our own destiny.
And to do that, basically, they just have to win. If they continue to win, they're there.
But they haven't won in a month. Greasy to Loville. He gets leveled. It's a first down. Chad Brown laid him out for a pickup of 4. And the clock stops. Timeout called by the Broncos. Not much time left for the Broncos to work with here at the end of the first half. They lead by 3. Goes in front, 17-14, final seconds, first half. Greasy throwing over the head of Rod Smith. He took a shot and a flag thrown. Darrell Williams was there to apply the hit. The ball was over the head of Smith. And Bob McElwee will make the call.
Now, as an instance, as a wide receiver, you don't want to get caught in a position where you're laying up for the football and a safety has a clean shot at you from the backside.
Personal foul. Defense after the pass. The foul will be assessed on the previous spot. 15 yards, first down.
Darrell Williams cannot believe that the flag was thrown. Smith left his feet, and here's Williams coming in.
Used his helmet right there, helmet to helmet. That's the penalty, and that should be called, and they know better than that. But a hit like that, you don't have to hit him with your helmet. Just wrap him up. Mike Holmgren's not happy with that call, but a helmet-to-helmet call will be penalized every time in the NFL.
Yep.
The wide receiver's in a defenseless position. It's spelled out clearly. You cannot go at him and attack him when he cannot defend himself with your helmet. And Darrell Williams did on that play.
There's no gray area there.
None at all. If you come flying in with your helmet to a wide receiver, running back, quarterback, or anyone that's in a defenseless position, that's it. Penalty.
Line of scrimmage is now the 46. Only 9 seconds left. Greasy will throw it to the sideline and out of bounds. This right now would be a 64-yard field goal attempt. And as we know, Jason Elam shares the career record of 63 with Tom Dempsey. So Elam will go for a new record. We'll see what the official spot will be. This was the last time. Elam, 63 yards, and he nailed it to get his name into the record books. Right now, 64-yard attempt. He can grab that record by himself. There is a deep man waiting. Elam on the approach, lays into it. This will come up well short. That is a returnable ball. Coming out, Sean Springs trying to circle with time expired, and that's it. So Elam, little flair for the dramatic, but he comes up well short on a 64-yard attempt. End of the first half. Broncos 17, Seahawks 14. The NASDAQ halftime report is coming up right after this word from your local station.
America.
Close game, so Seattle is hoping that works in their favor today.
It is, and both of these teams have played a lot of tight games, but if you look at these teams, if you want to win a football game in the NFL, you have to go out and you have to take it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Seahawks defensively, that's really a key that I'm looking for second half. Can they stop Denver, first of all, and second of all, can they make a big play? They've been waiting for that. Holmgren and the coaching staff waiting for a big play from this Seattle defense.
Well, they haven't made big plays on defense, and they hadn't made them in the first half, and they need to pick it up in the second half, and that's one of the keys to this defense for Seattle and their football team. Can their defense hang on and make big plays in the second half?
Second half action underway. Chris Watson on the return as he crossed the 25-yard line. Fabian Bones made the tackle on special teams. And we take a look at the halftime stats with the Broncos in front 17-14 rushing yards. Thanks in large part to Olandis Gary, 90 yards in that first half of action. But Kitna has done the job for Seattle throwing the football. Turnovers, all even, and just 3 points off of turnovers. And time of possession, just about even as well.
In this game, that's why the score is very close. It's a three-point game. They played very close, but, you know, one team's running the ball very well, the other team's throwing the ball very well. But the key was special teams for the Denver Broncos.
Double tight end set, Chamberlain in motion, the throw, and it's caught by Carswell. He is not the receiving tight end of the tandem. Chamberlain is known more for those skills, but Carswell getting involved with a 9-yard reception. Depending upon where they mark the football, will it be enough for a first down?
But what a pretty job of a big man using his body at 6'3", 260 pounds, shielding his body away from linebackers. So Brian Griese has an opportunity to drop the ball in there.
It is a good spot and a 10-yard catch. 2 set of downs for Denver. Straight up the middle, Olandis Gary. What a game this young running back is having as he crosses the 45. He gained 9 on first down, and he is just shy of the 100-yard mark.
He's limping after the play. He's going to run on the sidelines, but you're absolutely right. What a game he's had. Pounding the ball inside, getting to the outside, getting to the edge, circling the defense, putting pressure on the defense. But today, 1 yard short of 100 yards. That's outstanding. His entire season's been a big year for him.
He ranks second among AFC rookies with over 800 yards rushing. Obviously, we know who's first. That's Edgerrin James having a Pro Bowl season. Loville gets the call, and he's got a first down for Denver as he picks up 4. Once again, just going straight up the middle. Denver, they're not shying away from it. They'll go inside with their running attack, and Seattle has done very little to stop it.
And a lot of that inside goes over left guard Marshall Laref. Pro Bowler going against Cortez Kennedy, Pro Bowler to Pro Bowler. He's winning that battle. That's one thing about him. Big, strong guy. When I had him with the Washington Redskins, we were teammates. He was just a young guy, but the guy could lift the house. And here, years and years later, he's still in the NFL, and he's still one of the strongest guys in the league.
Motion man is Loville to the outside. Griese throwing it. Quick pass and a catch made by Carswell. So his second catch on the drive and a flag down. Chad Brown making the stop. So against Denver, Broncos will have it come back 5 yards.
Illegal shift, 2 men moving prior to the snap, and they did not reset. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Only the second penalty of the day called on Mike Shanahan's team. It's cost him 10 yards so far this afternoon.
But still, Mike Shanahan's a perfectionist. He does not want to make mistakes, and he shakes his head on a play like that because that's basically just lining up and getting in the right position.
On a 1st and 15 now, McCaffrey the motion man. Play action. Griese has time. Throwing. Incomplete. Over the middle, it was Carswell again. And Bronco fans wanted a flag. Philip Daniels getting into the pocket to knock down Brian Griese.
And not only knock him down, it looked like a knockout punch. Brian Griese in the pocket right there. He put his face right on his helmet. It's almost a helmet-to-helmet blow, and that's a heck of a hit for Brian Griese to take. His back's turned. He doesn't feel it, but the ball's thrown and right in his mustache.
Came from the side on that blind side that Griese was able to release the football. Daniels has been the one guy on this defensive line that has gotten into the backfield here today. On a 2nd and 15 from the 46. Shotgun. Good protection. Griese. Incomplete. Chamberlain, the intended receiver. And he could not get it to him.
Brian Griese, after that last hit, could be still hearing a little ringing in his ears because that was a heck of a hit, but he had excellent protection by his offensive line. All he needs to do is step up, read the defense, and make a play. And that's still a part of his growth, and he'll make those plays. And one thing I like about Brian Griese is he's mature as a young player, his maturity, and he's calm, and nothing gets him rattled. And that's what you want to see in a quarterback, and you see that at Brian Griese in his second year.
Sprained ankle for Howard Griffith. His return is questionable at the fullback position. On 3rd and 15, Griese steps up, throws. First down yardage for Rod Smith. Brought down at the 33-yard line by Willie Williams. That covered 21 yards through the air. And the Broncos move the chains.
And Rod Smith is taking it to Willie Williams one-on-one. It's a deep square, and Rod Smith has him, goes down the field to play. Willie Williams never touches him, never puts his hands on him. And if you don't challenge a wide receiver and let him off the line of scrimmage, he will run his route cleanly and make the reception. For Rod Smith, 1 touchdown today, 5 receptions, 61 yards.
And Olandis Gary has returned for Denver. Smith having a strong day so far. Gary will get the call, shedding 1 tackler. And he is brought down at the 30-yard line. After a pickup of 3, Anthony Simmons was the first man to greet him. It'll be 2nd and 7 as Gary goes over the 100-yard mark. 11 carries, 102 yards for Olandis Gary, who has a touchdown run in each of his last 3 games. He's looking for his first score today.
What I like about both Olandis Gary and Brian Griese, you talked to Brian Griese about passing for 3,000 yards. It means nothing unless we win. Olandis Gary getting 1,000 yards rushing, I don't care. As long as we win, that's all they care about.
Flag comes down. Gary will shift it to the outside. Gary forced out of bounds right around the marker. Looked to be just short. We'll see what this flag is. And our referee, Bob McElwee, will fill us in. Against Seattle on the offsides. May have been Sam Adams, number 98, who jumped. If it's a first down, they'll probably just take the running play for Gary. It depends upon the spot.
Offside, number 87, defense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Well, McElwee has the number wrong because I'm going to say Derek Mays was not playing defense for Seattle on that play.
So that was 98 right in the middle of the screen.
So Sam Adams is the man that was called on it.
It's offside.
We got him on that one. That's one of the ones where you want the voice inflection out of your quarterback and you try to get him to jump off sides, and that's what Brian Griese did.
Gary spinning forward as he crosses the 25. Needed 2, he got 1. Riddick Parker the stop for the Seattle defense. So it doesn't appear to be enough for a first down. It'll set up 3rd and short.
Now with 3rd and short, they'll bring in their 2 tight ends, their jumbo formation, and see a little smash mouth here. When you look at this Denver offense, the way that they've been moving the ball effectively, and they put points on the board, but they've been able to move the ball up and down the field, through the air, through the run. When they have to have a play, they get it.
9th play of the drive. This is a 3rd and 1. Gary moving forward for the first down. Line of scrimmage will be the 23. And the Denver Broncos offense with an impressive drive to start out play in the 3rd quarter. The Seattle defense, you have to continue to question this defensive unit. Some extracurricular activities following the play. But no flags have been thrown after the pushing and shoving.
There's one thing for sure. Whenever they need a yard or 2, they're going to go over their left guard. Schlereth going to get a push. He'll drive the defender in front of him, and he's going against another Pro Bowler in Cortez Kennedy, but so far in this game, he's won that battle.
That is a bad spot. Still might be enough for the first down as they extend the chains, and it will be enough. It looked like Gary had it by certainly more than half a football. but it's irrelevant right now. Denver with a 1st and 10 at the 23.
It's the push interior, kept driving his legs. And right there, that ball is well ahead. You're absolutely right on it.
On 1st down, here's a pitch. Gary was hit initially and then was able to make something happen on 2nd effort. A shoe comes flying off. Willie Williams got him down low, and he picked up a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
It's Chad Brown losing his shoe. And Chad Brown's been one of the more vocal players about the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. In the past, Chad Brown's been a guy that attacks the quarterback with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a rush backer, gets a lot of sacks. And this defense, when he's been in Seattle, not a lot of sacks, only 3.5 sacks this year. And he's complained, why am I dropping 20 or 30 yards downfield when my forte is getting to the quarterback? Let me rush the quarterback.
He did have 8.5 sacks last year under a different defensive scheme. Greasy on the move. Greasy will throw across the field and incomplete. Detron Smith, the intended receiver, and the Broncos will face a 3rd and 9. Right now, let's get an NFL Today report. We head to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Ian, in the first half, the
Indianapolis and the Giants fell to St. Louis, so Dallas may be able to move into the driver's seat in the NFC East. On a 3rd and 9 now. Here's Greasy operating out of the shotgun. He is sacked at the 28-yard line. Philip Daniels gets him for the 2nd time.
And Philip Daniels is handling Tony Jones one-on-one. He's been in the backfield the entire afternoon, harassing quarterback Brian Greasy. At the top of the screen, Tony Jones has him one-on-one. He's kicking back. You'll see it at the top of the screen. He tries to cut him, but Philip Daniels does not go down, continues his pursuit to the quarterback, and gets the sack.
8th sack of the season for Daniels. And now a 46-yard attempt for Jason Elam. Missed from 64 yards away. This one has the distance, and it's good. So the Broncos with a long drive on their first possession of the 2nd half. They extend their lead here in the 3rd quarter. Elam's field goal gives Denver the 20-14 advantage. It's of the clock to start play in the 3rd quarter. And a 46-yard field goal for Jason Elam. 13 plays, 44 yards. And Denver extends its lead to 20-14. Elam will kick it off. Charlie Rogers, the return man, along with Kerry Joseph. And Rogers, the rookie, not wearing